Hey 100 Copies, happy Saturday. This is Angela here, and we are on lesson 3 of our Better Relationships Now series. We have one more lesson tomorrow at 2 p.m., same time as today. And again, we're going through this booklet here, 4 lessons for better relationships. You don't have to have the booklet, but in case you haven't been following, that's what I'm reading. I know some people go, what is she reading? That's what I'm reading out of. So to this point, you should have a piece of paper that you've been tracking yourself, right? Your piece of paper with 4 columns, yourself and 3 people that you want to build your relationships with. On the back or on a different sheet of paper, someone who you would like to, that you're having a current conflict with or ongoing conflict with, right? And then under each of the names, you should have listed their personality traits and their greatest need. Then yesterday, we had you list whether they were outgoing or reserved. So you should have the word outgoing or reserved, not both, and either task or people oriented under all 5 people, you being one of them, okay? So that's where you should be today before we start with the next level. So the next level is telling you what all of that means. So for every person that you have, I want you to look at your columns. For every person that you have listed as outgoing and task, so outgoing, task-oriented people, I want you to write a D in that column with their name, the letter D, okay? Anyone who is outgoing and people, I want you to write the letter I. Anyone who is people and reserved, so you'd have it reserved people would be your 2 answers for them. Then write an S in that column. And anyone who is reserved and task, you're going to put a C. Okay? So you should have either a D, an I, an S, or a C in each of your columns. So your 4 columns on the front, your 1 extra person. Okay? All right. So here's what I'm going to tell you about what those letters mean. And I want you underneath the letter you wrote, or somewhere in your column, we are going to track today 4 things about these people, okay? Number 1, what they're motivated by. So if you want, put an M in that column, okay? So motivating factors for D people. So Ds are your dominant, driving personality types, okay? So for the D type, anyone that you've put D in their column under motivated by, or just an M, right, M colon, they are motivated by challenges, choices, and control. Okay, so right next to their name, challenges, choices, control. Okay, I's, your outgoing and people, right, they are, they're your inspiring type. I stands for inspiring. So they're the fun, sparkly, happy people, right? Usually life of the party, love to be in front of people, very talkative, very chatty. Okay, those are your I's. They're motivated by recognition, approval, and popularity. Okay, so just write for now, and I will tell you what all of this means in a minute, okay? Your S's, if you wrote an S under any of those columns, they are reserved and people-oriented. These are your supportive types. So supportive people are the nicest people you will ever meet. They will do for everyone else but them. They usually put themselves last, but they never tell you when they need help. So they will take and take and take until they just snap and they can't take anymore. And all of a sudden, your really nice friend or family member all of a sudden is like exploding at you, and you're like, what happened, right? Those are S people. So S's are the nicest people you will ever meet. And S's are motivated by security, appreciation, and assurance. So put your M under anyone S is security, appreciation, and assurance. Okay, now your C's are going to be your reserved task people. So anyone you put a C in their column, they are motivated by, and C stands for cautious. These are the calculating, cautious, analytical people. Okay, so C's are motivated by quality answers, excellence, and value. Okay, C's, the most important thing for them is to have the right answer for you. Not to be right, not to argue that I'm right, but to research and research until they give you the perfect answer, because they want everything to be accurate the first time and never have to repeat themselves, right? So those are C people. So you should now have, for all of your columns, you should have something in each column for motivation, what each type is motivated by, okay? Now we're going to move on to environmental needs. So you could either write environment or an E and a colon, however you want to put in your columns. So we're going to start with the D's, your dominant, right? Dominant types need freedom, authority, varied activities, and opportunity for advancement. They get bored very quickly. They're always on to the next thing they need to conquer, okay? D's are not maintainers. So if you have a child who's a D and you don't keep them challenged, they will find things to break and fix because they're bored, or they will cause destruction because they're bored. So always have a challenge ready for a D. They are not happy when there's nothing to be done. So again, the environmental needs for a D is freedom, authority, varied activities, and opportunity for advancement. Okay, I'm reading these off for you because I want to get the wording right for you. I know some of you really appreciate the wording, so I want to be sure and read it off for you. I's, environmental needs. Again, these are the fun, happy, sparkly, life of the party people, right? I's need prestige, friendly relationships, opportunities to influence others, opportunities to inspire others. Notice opportunities is repeated. They love opportunity, right? Potential. Chances to verbalize ideas. They like to talk things out. For people who don't like to talk things out, for the doers of the world, this can drive them crazy. So if your conflict person is a talker and you're a doer and you feel like they talk and don't get anything done, that could be the root of your conflict. Just saying. So, I's, prestige, friendly relationships, opportunities to influence others, opportunities to inspire others, and chances to verbalize ideas. Our S's, our supportive types, their environmental needs are an area of specialization, identification with a group, like who are they within this group, right? What role do they play? Established work pattern, they do not like change. Stability of situation, again, peace and harmony is their language, right? Consistent environment. So, S's like an environment where they know the parameters, they know the rules, tell them exactly what you want done, and they will do exactly that. No more, no less. Exactly what you ask them to do. So again, if you are a person who pushes the envelope and likes challenge and is constantly changing things, then an S could get a little bent out of shape by that, right? Because that upsets their whole balance. They're constantly looking for balance. So if you have an S that you're having conflict with, most likely you upset their balance. So rewind, check with them, and get them back in balance, and all will be well, because they don't like conflict. If you have an S who's causing conflict with you, then you've upset their balance, is what I would suggest to you. All right, so our C types. Environmental needs of the cautious type. Clearly defined tasks. Sufficient time and resources to accomplish those tasks. Freedom to ask questions. These are your questions, people. They have 3 questions for every answer that you could possibly give. They're always going to have a follow-up question. Always. So be prepared for that. Limited risks. Assignments that require planning and precision. These are your analytical people. These are the people that like to research and get it done right the first time. right? Measure 3 times, cut once. These are those people. So if you expect them to do things on the fly, that's going to cause a problem. They like to have time to get comfortable with the idea and then move forward and make a decision. Okay? So those are the environmental needs. You should have environmental needs for every single column. You may have to go through and re-listen to this to fill out your sheet, and that's okay. So I'm trying to read it slowly so you can write. Communication style is our next one. So you can either write communication or C:, however you want to put it on your sheets here, on your columns. So D's, communication style for dominant, is straightforward communication. Get to the point. Don't dance around. Don't sugarcoat. Bottom line, what do you need from me, right? Time is money. I got stuff to do. So D's, get right to the point, straightforward. I's, on the other hand, communication style is friendly and informal communication. So an I, if you get right to the point, they think you're mad at them. They need talking. They need how are you? They need the smiley happy emojis and the thumbs up, and they like friendly conversation. If you're not being friendly, you must be mad. Okay? So with I's, keep it friendly and light conversation. You might need to bring them in and focus them a little bit because they can tend to get off and tell you lots of different stories and forget why you originally started talking to them. So, but their communication style is friendly and informal. Okay? S's are warm, open, sincere communication. S's don't usually do small talk. An S wants to talk to you about, how to make the world a better place, and how do we make a difference in the world, and well, what do you think about that, and let's really have a deep emotional conversation about that. They really want to get to the root of things and truly make things better. Those are your S people. They don't like superficial, fluffy small talk. If you run past them with what you think is superficial small talk, they're going to take it seriously, and they will brood about it all day because they care and because that they take everything very deeply. They're very sensitive people in the best of ways. So if you find that you're in conflict in this way, it could be because maybe you're a D or an I and you ran past them and just gave them like a list of things that happened in your day, which to you was just one moment of your day. It didn't define your day. But to an S, they're concerned and they're going to sit here and plan and wonder how to fix it and how to help you. And meanwhile, you moved on, don't even realize that you handed this to them. Okay? So that can cause conflict and that can stress an S out because they truly are sitting there worrying about, oh my goodness, they had a rock hit their windshield. I wonder, it's hot outside and maybe it's going to crack and I should probably call someone. I know someone who fixes windshields for a living, and I wonder if they have insurance to cover that crack in the windshield. And meanwhile, the I's like, oh, hey, yay, maybe I'll buy a whole new car because I got a crack in my windshield, right? But not to the S. So conflict can happen there. All right, and C, our communication style for cautious people is logical, precise, and detailed communication, okay? So imagine if an I, who's all bubbly and superficial and has no point to really talking to you, just that they like to hear themselves talk sometimes, comes up to a C who is very detailed, is going to ask lots of questions and wants clarification and is looking for the point of your story, right? Can get very, very upset very quickly with an I. So again, they are opposites. So if you think of it in a quadrant, right, the upper 2 quadrants, you have D and I, and in the lower 2 quadrants, you have S and C. So your C and your I are in opposition. They're opposites. So usually conflict happens when you cross that diagonal, right? C's and I's, S's and D's is usually what your conflict is. We're going to go into more about that tomorrow. So for now, you got your communication style for all 4 letters. So every single column should have a communication style written. Our last one today is our blind spot. Okay? So our blind spot is an area that we probably aren't aware is even a problem, but it's most likely your biggest area for growth or your cause for conflict because you are doing something that you just have no idea rubs somebody the wrong way because you're just being you and you have no idea, right? So, blind spots for a D. So your dominant blind spots are being sensitive to people and being able to relax and have patience. D's are not patient. And D's they just act. They don't think about what's going to happen to everybody else. They just take that action and move on. They can fix it later, right? And it's not that they mean to, they don't mean anything by it. They're just taking action. Action needs to be taken, and they're going to take it. So that's a D's way of working. That's their operation. That's how they're wired. It's not personal. But to all the other personalities, it can come across as uncaring. So the blind spot for a D is that you can come across as uncaring or insensitive to others' feelings. When you take action, you could actually stomp on someone without realizing it. So that could be a source of conflict. I's blind spot, surprise, surprise, is time management, which is my biggest blind spot. Time management, being unrealistic, listening to others, because we're very busy talking, we don't usually listen, and completion of tasks. I's love to start new projects. There's always something bigger and better on the horizon, but when you do that, it's really hard to finish everything you start. So, I's can drive other people crazy by starting a bunch of things and getting people involved in projects and then abandoning the project for something else. Meanwhile, all of your team members are still working on the last project and you have completely forgotten about it. So that can cause conflict, okay? So time management as well, and we have talked about this several times in other trainings about I's when you're scheduling your coffees, for instance. Be sure you confirm your coffees, don't double book yourself, give yourself plenty of time between coffees so you don't run one into the other, right? Time management is our friend. So this is a great area for growth. And you can't, change something until you're aware of it. So the blind spots is areas to make you aware, not to beat yourself up about it, but to just say, hey, this is how you're made. This is who you are. And it's okay. Just know that and be aware of it and grow in that area. Or surround yourself with friends who can help you realize when you're doing something that might be causing a problem. Okay? So S is the blind spot. Dealing with change, being able to say no, it's okay to say no, and acting independently. S's like to do things in the buddy system. They don't like to do things by themselves. They don't fly solo well. So it's okay to step out and do something on your own once in a while, S's. And it's okay to accept change, just little baby steps, and you just need to verbalize, right? S's don't like to verbalize, and when things happen too quickly, they tend to freeze and quit talking completely. And when you don't know that about the S's in your life, right? When tomorrow we're going to talk about how to help others and adapt yourself to help them. But if you don't realize how people tick and how they're wired and why they do what they do, then you can either get mad at them or get frustrated or just disregard them completely. And S's often get disregarded completely because they freeze and they don't know what's going on. And if someone can't identify that and help slow the process down and help them work through it, then they can often just get pushed to the side. And if you push an S to the side too much, then they just disappear. They just check out of that relationship, which is really sad because S's, again, they're the most loving people you will ever meet. You don't want to check S's out of your life, right? So, last but not least are C's. C's blind spot is overanalyzing, like, paralysis, analysis paralysis by analysis. You overanalyze and don't make a move, right? Ability to meet deadlines, perfectionism, the need to express feelings, the importance of the feelings of others. Much like the D, they're task-oriented people. They're all about getting the stuff done, which doesn't mean they don't care about the people, but the tasks are so important that they will get the tasks done no matter what the people need. Because to them, getting the tasks done will help the people. That's how they think. It's not that they don't care about the people, it's they think, if I could just get this done, then everybody will be happy. If I could get this project done, then the environment will be better. We'll all get raises. We'll all be able to go on vacation. We'll all be in a bigger house. Whatever their tasks are, that's what they're focused on. It's not that they don't care about the people, okay, which can come across to everyone else as cold and uncaring, is really they care about you so much that they are going to take on all the brunt and get all the tasks done, because that's what they do. But again, they like a perfect. They will wait until the perfect, everything lines up, all their ducks are in a row to make a move. And again, like the S's, they can freeze in the moment of making a decision because there's so many options and they've got to explore every single option. So oftentimes it looks like they're sitting there doing nothing when actually inside their mind they are going like, full blast and just operating on all kilt inside their head, but it never comes out their mouth. So if you're a C, or if you have a C in your life, you might need to help pull it out of them and help them talk it through so they can come to decisions quicker. Another tip, I live with a C, is to give deadlines. Say, I need this by X date, so if you could, think about it, do your research, whatever you need to do, we need to talk about it again by this date because I have to move and I really want your input, but I need to have it by this date. Okay, so fill all those out. You might have to go back through and listen again, but fill all of those areas out for each person in your columns, right? And then tomorrow we're going to talk about how to take this information and adapt yourself, right? Because we can only control ourselves. We can only change ourselves. We can't change other people. And the person with the knowledge is the person with the responsibility to make that change. So tomorrow I'm going to tell you how to take all this information and how to use it to adapt yourself in the situations that you find yourselves in and reduce conflict. So I hope this has been valuable to you, and I will see you here tomorrow, same time for our last lesson. And that will be 2 p.m. Pacific and 5 p.m. Eastern. So until our next coffee, this has been Angela. Bye!